Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today we're going to talk to you about the Takamine GD30CELH NAT. 30 is the series, CE is cutaway electric, and LH is left-handed. This model is available both left and right-handed, and of course NAT stands for natural top. Now, I'm not going to get into the full details and specs on this. If you want that information, please click on the link below in the video description box. There will be a link to the Takamine website where you can check out this guitar and all their other guitars that they carry, and you'll get the full specs on this thing. I just want to save some time on the video, so this way you can check out other stuff too if you're not interested in this one. Now, a little bit about this though. It does have Takamine's electronics in it. It's a TP41-D. There's 3-band EQ on here, battery compartment, tuner, main gain output control of course, and a little on and off button for your tuner, and low battery indicator tells you when your battery's pretty much pooched. And if you're not paying attention to the light, you will notice a degraded quality of sound when that battery's really low too. So it's kind of one of those things, one or the other kicks in. But the battery, I would only recommend Duracells or Energizers for the 9-volt, only because I have tried many other different brands of 9-volt batteries. They do not last very long at all. Duracells and Energizers, it seems like forever. They last a long time. Now, I've just put brand new strings on this thing yesterday, and I've put the original strings back on that the manufacturer uses, which are D'Addario 12-53s, and they're an EXP16 phosphorus bronze coated string. And so they have very long lifespan to them, which is really nice. Now the action on this thing is very low set up out of the box, which is great. I love that, and I really like the bridge system on here because it's a pinless, so there's no pins to mess with, which is great. And of course it does have a synthetic nut and bone. Now, that's as far as the specs we're going to get into. The rest of it does have some decent frets on it. They're not fat jumbos, but they're not jumbos. You know what I mean? They're kind of like an in-between a skinny and a medium type jumbo fret, so they're actually quite good. Very good longevity out of these things. They seem to just keep going. And like I said, I am a hard player. I play this thing all the time, and I play this thing in church all the time too. Except for the odd time I'll bring an electric guitar in, or I'll bring my Martin, one of the two. Now this thing was put up against a Martin, a $2,500 Martin in fact, and it kicked its ass. Yes, hard to believe, It's hard to beat a Martin. True, but in this case, it wasn't that hard in the end. This thing kind of won out. When I buy guitars, it's not just about the looks, it's about sound, it's about playability, and so on. Now, either guitar, I would have had no opportunity to play first. In fact, the Martin, I would have had to order it first, pay $1,500 up front, and then pay the balance off over a period of like 6 or 7 months before I'd be able to get my hands on it. So I would have no way of knowing what it's even set up like from the factory, although I had been hearing, and of course on my own Martin that I do have now, I can say the Martin does set their actions up rather high, and that's ridiculous. I had a hard time playing in the upper registers, and so I actually lowered the action on my Martin by, the only way I could do it was actually to take some meat off the saddle, and I was able to lower it, and it sounds better and plays much better now too. This thing I haven't had to do anything to it, but I am going to be switching my tuners out for gold colored Grover tuners eventually, and I'm going to get high ratio tuners because it's just something I want to do. And I like the color gold. Always looks good with wood. But anyways, I want to give you guys a sound test. Now, originally when I did my first video on this, long time ago, I was using a snowball mic, which was supposed to be studio grade quality. But anyways, my wife now has that microphone, and I've upgraded to an Apex 555, which is how we're going to record this time. And we're only going to be doing acoustic on this. Now, this is a pretty obnoxious guitar as far as volume output goes. Now, this is what people tell me when they listen to me play, because I can't hear it being in behind the sound hole. So it's from here out that people hear. So anyways, I'm going to give this a spin for you, and then we'll talk some more. So bass, mids, and trebles are very well balanced on this thing. Plays beautiful. Neck plays like butter. It's just so wonderful. And it is a narrow neck on this thing, or a slim neck as they call it. I don't use really thick picks either. I tend to stick around between the .46 and no more than .50. I like a more flexible pick. For one, I ain't going to break strings ever, no matter how hard I bash on this thing. But I also like the sound that gets produced out of a thinner pick. And I can play any genre of music I want and play it really well with .46 to .50 millimeter. So, not a big deal there. So, it's kind of been my preferred pick choices, right? And if you want to know about finger picking, yes. Does finger picking great. Now, I mean, this guitar isn't for everybody either. It does have a big body on it, so you have to be able to handle a larger body scaled guitar, so it is kind of like a full-size body. Anyways, but very nice, very well constructed. This thing is just amazing. I mean, the build quality on this thing is just outstanding. Clarity of the grain is just awesome, you know. Now, it's not a real two-piece split back either. That's just this is more of a decorational type thing, and it does follow around to the front too. It does have binding on the back as well as on the front, and of course very nice pattern in here on the sound hole. Overall, I mean, it's a really great guitar, great player. Sound is just beautiful, which, you know, this is what kicked the Martin's ass. You know, a guitar that was costing almost 4 times the amount of money. This thing beat it, you know, for sound and everything. Now, that's for my ears. That's the thing. I mean, we all have our preferences of what kind of sound we're looking for in an instrument. And though I do have a Martin guitar now, it's not the one I was looking at, mind you. I mean, this Martin only sells for like $1,100 new, and I picked it up for $400 used from Long McQuade. So do check out Long McQuade if you're in Canada. They got almost 80 stores. Great place. You know, this guitar is great. I love the sound that's produced out of this thing. You know, I couldn't believe it. You know, and I watched a lot of videos, including Takamine's own videos. Then, of course, I watched a boatload of videos on that Martin guitar, too, that I was after. And it's like, you know, even if I had the $1,500 down to have the lefty version built for me, after the research I did, I'm glad I didn't even bother with it, because this thing is so much better and far less money, which does go to show and prove too, you can get better for less at times. It's just a matter of shopping around too. And you got to really know the kind of sound you're looking for in a guitar, because they are all different. It doesn't, and I've owned tons of acoustics over the years, and I've played on tons of acoustics. Even last week I was in Long McQuade, I was playing on a $5,000 Taylor, and I'm like, what do you get for $5,000, I wonder, you know, like, and I was like really disappointed at it, you know. I was like, man, this is like sucks. But hey, you know, it's my ears, it's what I was hearing. I wasn't overly thrilled with it, right? Mind you, the Taylor 314 CE that I had for a brief time, and I want to get that back again. I couldn't afford it. Wrong time of buying during my work season, but I will get it back eventually. That 314 CE, that was only like $2,400, you know, and so it's like $100 under my max limit for a guitar, and that thing is amazing. I don't even think there is a Martin that can compete with that one, in my opinion, but that's my opinion. You know, so, but anyway, so there you go. So that's what we've got here. Now, my opinion on the overall star rating on this thing is definitely going to be a 4.5 out of 5. Nothing is ever perfect. I mean, I hate 5-star reviews because to me they're bogus. I click out of videos real quick after I hear the word 5-star, or I won't even go back to a channel that does 5-star video reviews on products, just because there's no such thing as perfect. But you can get 4 3/4, that's for sure, but you'll never get a 5. Now, this thing loses a few dings. Number one, it's not perfect. Number two, the tuner is slow. Even though it does work well, it is still a slow reacting tuner. They need to get that tuner a little bit more up to spec for speed, to get it, right on quicker. Because that's one thing I find, it's a little bit frustrating. It takes me much longer to tune this guitar with its built-in tuner than it does with, say, my Snark. Now, my Snark will tune this guitar like, boom, that is done, really fast, right? This one, hey, if I don't have that one with me, at least I got this one. It does work. It will work fine. It's just, it takes longer because it's slower reacting. So those are the only things I can say that's really bad about this guitar. Otherwise, I can't say anything bad about it. And with its own strings, it performs awesomely, which is another reason why I bought it. It sounds beautiful with its own strings. Now, I have tried Martin strings on this, 12 to 54s. They didn't last long. They kind of sucked. And of course, I have tried other D'Addarios, which are these 12 to 53 EJ16s. Now, these aren't a coated string either. They were okay, but they didn't last near as long as the coated strings do. Coated strings will last longer. Now, I don't have high acidic levels in my fingers, and I do not sweat when playing, no matter how long and hard I've been playing. I've played for 7 hours straight in a day, sitting in here even, and I don't sweat. So I don't have to worry about that problem with strings, right? Or a lot of guys do. So my strings shouldn't die too quick, but it's the sound that I'm trying to hear. It's what I'm going after for that tone. It seems that only the strings that are come with this guitar from the factory are the only ones that work best for it, in my opinion. You may have different experience, different opinion. You're looking for a different tone. You can certainly change the tone of your guitar by just changing strings, and that goes for acoustics and for electric guitars, both. Your strings will make a huge impact on your tone. Anyway, so that's what I got. 4.5 out of 5. I think it's more than fair. It's a great guitar. The price is awesome. Even though this is almost 2 years later, you can still buy this model brand new. So check around for deals everywhere. See what you can come up with. If you can find a deal on a good used one that's in great shape and has no issues, then by all means pick it up. You probably get it for a real cheap deal. Anyways, if you're not subbed, please sub, and then smash that bell, and you'll get updates from my channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, well, the other way goes. Can't make everybody happy. That's fine, I think it's a great guitar. I think it's worth the money, definitely. I would do it again and again and again. It's been a wonderful player for me. I'm a hard player. I make my guitars work, and this thing is staying together really, really well. And I am glad that I decided to go back to the original strings, because that is a reason why I bought this thing. And I tell you too, like the music store had to order it in for me. Music City had to order it in at the time because they didn't have one in stock. And I was kind of like, So, you take your chances, right? So it comes in, I open the box, I take it out. It says, all right, guys, I'm going to play this thing first before I hand over my dough. They're like, yeah, sure, go for it. I'm playing away, and, and I'm like, that is, like, beautiful. And I just, wow, so I'm like, here's my money, here you go, was happy to turn over my money that day. So anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. See ya.